Thank you, Mayor Brennan. She spoke about the freight, something that we don't hear a lot about. In the draft environmental impact statement, they said that they expect freight to increase in 2 years by 42%. Yes, they expect 20 freight trains to be coming down the track. They also give you an average length of about 8,100 feet. That's average. What they don't tell you is the longest freight trains will be up to 14,000 feet long. That's 2.65-mile long freight trains, bifurcating many of our communities. Another claim from All Aboard Florida, they're 100% privately funded. Well, we dispute that, and we have from the start. I've already spoke a little bit about the RIF loan. They've applied for a $1.6 billion taxpayer-backed RIF loan for a project we do not believe is feasible. Taxpayer money is also involved in our local communities. We have to lease those tracks. We lease our roads to cross those tracks. We have lease agreements and maintenance agreements. Florida East Coast comes in, they rehabilitate, they maintain, and they send our communities the bill, and they're paid with our tax dollars. In Martin County, the average cost to rehabilitate these intersections are $60,000. They will rehabilitate 2 to 4 intersections a year. The latest bill that they received was for $100,000. Our Martin County engineer said that she expects these costs will double once they double track, because they're going to be upgrading their crossing equipment and, of course, adding another track. That's taxpayer money our communities are going to have to come up with, and it's millions of dollars up and down the coast. Our communities are either going to have to raise taxes, or they're going to have to cut costs somewhere to make up the cost. The other thing that we have to realize is this is expected to impact real estate values. There's a study back in 1994 up in Georgia that has been referenced. Homes within 1,000 feet of the track can lose up to 20% of the value. In fact, our taxes coming into our community again. I let everybody know you don't have to live next to the tracks. You don't have to be a boater to be impacted, because those taxes affect the whole community. All Aboard Florida, as you just heard Congressman Murphy talk about bonds. You might have heard about a month ago they sold $405 million worth of junk bonds for the southern portion. They sold at junk bond levels 12 to 12.75%. And they wanted to use the government-backed loan to pay these. And what you may not have read is that they had to attach collateral to these junk bonds to get them sold. So at those incredibly high rates, they had to put a lien on the land, the rights to the passenger track, the ability to run the business if the project goes wrong, or to purchase at par if the project is abandoned before the deadline. That they had to do to sell those junk bonds. Now they have applied to issue private activity bonds, which will still be purchased by private buyers if they are approved. I want you to know that RIF loan is still on the table, and they have not been approved to issue those private activity bonds. If they do get approved, we're not sure who's going to buy those junk bonds. The last ones were simply an equity play for those bondholders. The other thing with those private activity bonds, they're tax-free bonds. So if they do manage to pay them off, the folks that purchase them, the taxpayers get hurt again because they're tax-free. Taxpayers, they don't have to pay an income tax like we do. So now I want to go back and talk a little bit more about the bridges, because that's a huge, huge impact. I'm going to introduce Mr. George Gentile. He is chairman of the Jupiter Inland District. Many reports on the bridge safety statistics. I've had the pleasure to speak with Ms. Gentile at many of the community meetings, and I'm pleased he was willing to take this Sunday to speak with us. Please help us welcome Mr. George Gentile.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Many of you may not know who the Jupiter Inlet District is. Many of you do, but I'd just like to tell you a few minutes. We represent a 92 square mile taxing district. Was set up by the state legislature in 1921 to manage the Jupiter Inlet, navigation, recreational boating. The commission's been here when it was the inlet was moved from its old location to the current location in 1922. They were here also when the inlet was totally closed from 1942 to 1949. Our big issue with this, when this was brought to our district, and we became aware of it back in August of 2013, was the issues of the trestle bridge and its potential problems for navigation through that area. Our mission is to ensure that that navigation continues, to make it safe for the recreational and commercial boaters that go through there. And we were very concerned. We were also concerned because the bridge is now, since we started this, 89 years old. It's probably beyond almost to its lifespan. We're very concerned about the safety of increasing weight, increasing the activities over it with the additional 32 trains and possibly additional freight trains. So the district decided in November of 2013, because we couldn't find a study that was done in regards to the amount of traffic that was using that area of the river. So we engaged our engineers, Taylor Engineering, to start monitoring the traffic through that bridge area. The engineering firm installed cameras. Those cameras have been operating since mid-January of this year. And I'm going to give you a few of the statistics regarding that, because I think they're quite amazing. Even as long as I've been on the commission, which is about 14 years, we really didn't know how many boats were using that bridge. Now the cameras are limited in that they can only take images every 20 seconds, which is also good because we also see the trains and we see the boats, we see the queuing, but they're limited in that they're only able to photograph during daylight hours. So the statistics I'm going to give you are from about sunset to sunrise to sunset. And of course, as you know, many of us who live here in Jupiter night and use that area, particularly coming from the homes and the residential areas to the west of the bridge. In January, we did 1 month, or half a month, and we had about 1,700 vessels that went through there. And continually increasing through that bridge area until the summer months, which we have data now all the way through August. And right now we've had, since the middle of January, about 52,000 vessels have gone through there during daylight hours in that bridge area. There's averaging 9,000 boats a month through the summer months. And that comes out to be about 208 vessels a day on an average. Of course, Sundays are the biggest days, but you'd be surprised to see how many vessels go under on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's quite amazing. We are going to continue this study through the end of the year and possibly even longer. The data is being provided to the Coast Guard. As many of you may not know, the Coast Guard has probably one of the only rules that we can take advantages of in regards to impeding navigation and vessel traffic through that channel. So we're providing that data to the Coast Guard. And I'd like to let you all do the website, which is jupiterinletdistrict.com. You'll be able to go on that website on Monday, and you'll be able to pull this report, and every month that will be updated, so you'll be able to get the data. So that with our camera, we've actually photographed every vessel. We know that the sizes of the vessels. We know the length of the vessels that are going through there all through this daylight hours. Great study. It is going to be made to all the agencies. The Marine Industries Association has been using it also because they're also engaged in this issue because of their representing most of the marine industries. We're available at our district offices to provide you any information, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here to let you know.
Thank you, Mr.